All right. For the month of July, we're talking about relationships because relationships, under all the work that Helena and I do as the Emotion Code Divas, Helena's also a hypnotherapist. She'll talk about that and the tools she's got in her kit. But when we're working with people, often, even if it's weight release or Helena might even concur with stop smoking clients, that oftentimes it gets down peeling that rose down, as we like to do, it gets down to relationships. So we're going to be talking this whole month about relationships that you have with family, with partner. We're doing some on grief, on divorce blues. I have a lot of people that are going through that, or you may have just lost even a family member or an animal or somebody that's dear to you. And what can happen, or divorce blues, what can happen is, and retirement blues, right, is that the heart in the subconscious, literally a wall is being built around it to protect you. And Helena is going to talk about what the heart wall is as it is described from Dr. Bradley Nelson, who's the author of this brand new book. Well, this is a new book. He's had the book out for a while, but the Emotion Code. So I'm Dana J. Smithers. I'm one of the Emotion Code Divas, and today I will be working on an anonymous viewer who believes that she has a heart wall, but with the information that she gave me, I'm just going to check before I actually start the process. So Helena, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then let's hear what Dr. Brad has to say about the heart wall.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Helena Jenikin, and I am a certified emotion code practitioner, as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And today, I was reading about the heart wall again from Dr. Brad's book, The Emotion Code. And what I find really interesting is that, and Dr. Brad is not the only one that talks about this, but how that your heart is the most electromagnetic organ in your body. And it can generate up to 60 to 100 times more power and electric magnetic energy than your brain. So it easily makes it the most powerful organ that you have. Did you know, actually, Dana, this is something on a side note, that when the fetus is born, when the baby is born, that it actually, the brain is pulled out of the heart? So that's why they say actually the heart has a lot of brain cells in it, and so does the gut.
I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, so there's a talk out there how we've actually got three brains: this brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
it
about the
makes
gut brain as well. Yeah.
so the heart. So Dr. Brad says that every beat of your heart sends a message to all the cells of your body. It is that the heart can think for itself. The heart has the ability to remember things, and that the brain in your head obeys the messages sent from your heart. And we know this to be true when, if you've ever had a heartache, a heartbreak, you can know how powerful that is and how that can actually affect so many parts of your life. But Dr. Brad says there's been many times in your own life when you may have felt physical sensation that we refer to as heartache, the feeling of pressure or discomfort in the chest and throat that may occur if someone is hurting or if there is a deep sense of loss or grief. Now, he believes that the heart is actually the core of the being, just like the ancients believed. And he also thinks that the spirit within us does not like this feeling. And I believe that if you've ever had an experience more than a couple times in your life that of heartache and heartbreak and grief and uncomfortableness, that your subconscious mind may very well form a wall of energy to protect your heart against any further heartache. And we refer this in emotion code practitioners, we refer to this heart as this heart energy as the heart wall. So it's made, the energy around the heart is what we call the heart wall, and it can be made up of many, many different emotions that is can be removed through the emotion code process.
Exactly, and thanks for that, Helena. So you can check it out in Dr. Brad's book as well. But one of the main ways that you're going to know that you do have a heart wall is that if you're feeling isolated from other people, you don't feel connected, you you might be giving out love, but you may feel like it's not being received. You may also not be able to receive love back. So those are clear indications of there actually being heart walls. So while I'm working on the person today, I already have her permission, so we're good with that, and I'm going to be her proxy because she's not here. So I'm going to be tapping in to the subconscious. I will tap into her subconscious because she's given me permission. Now, the next thing that we talk about and we ask is the severity. So Helena, can you tell us a bit about that? So she's saying it's a 10 for her.
So the severity is a scale that we like to use whenever we're working on a client because our intention is to go from wherever they're feeling, let's say it's a 8, 9, or 10, down to a lower number like a 2, 1, or even better yet, a 0. So it's a way for us to measure the work that we are doing.
Exactly. So I will check that. And the way that I'm going to check it and the way that we're going to be using the emotion code chart and all the 60 emotions is by doing what is called muscle testing. So you can check in Dr. Brad's book as well. You can find the different ways that people do muscle testing. For me, I have an agreement with my subconscious that when I put my index and thumb together and use my index and middle finger in the other hand, that when I muscle test, this is a firm yes and that's a no. So I'm only going to be asking yes and no questions. And then Helene, I think you've got some different magnets that I have. You're always, because you're traveling so much, right? You've got different kinds of magnets.
I do. And Dan, I'm just going to let you know that we're actually experiencing a problem, a technical problem. Our viewers are saying that they can't seem to load, and I'm actually not picking up any video either. I think they can hear us and they can comment.
Yeah, I think that is Facebook this morning. I had a lot of problems getting graphics, but we'll download this if you can't watch it because it is being recorded and we are live, so we should be good. So I will download it. But yes, we can see comments. So hello to Elaine Goldman. Great to have you watching. Yeah, Leah Lucero is saying that can't load. Yeah, I think it's Facebook. Oh, too bad. Anyway, just to let you know, Natasha's watching from Rumford, Essex as well. Yeah, it is being recorded. I will post it as soon as we're done. So let's just go ahead, Helena, and why don't we just jump right in and maybe we can just take a look. Do you have your chart with you today?
I do have my chart today. Not really super handy, but guess what?
Okay.
It's in my purse.
All right. No, you know what? We'll just use mine. Yeah. So this is the questions I'm going to.
As you can see, I have a different background today. So I travel between like 4 different offices, and sometimes I tend to forget my stuff at the office.
All right, perfectly acceptable. I've got 2 charts today. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be releasing emotions either from column A or column B, and then I'm going to ask the question: is the emotion trapped in an odd row or an even row? Then I'll look at the 5 emotions that are there, and then I will just go through each one, and I'll just be muscle testing, and I'll get a yes or a no if it's this emotion or not. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that. And as I said, this person that we're working on today, I'm going to ask the question because the information that she gave me, this is someone that lives with her family, doesn't really feel terribly supported from her family. She has a job that she's not really liking any longer, and she'd like to, move away from the family and find a job that's more suitable to her, but she's getting a lot of pressure from the family to stay. So this is definitely a relationship issue. Whether she has a heart wall or not, that's what I'm going to check for right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the proxy, and so I'm just asking my subconscious, am I connected? And I have the person's name in my mind. Am I connected? Am I connected? Okay, and then when I get a yes, I know that I've connected. So I've got a yes, I'm connected. And then I'm going to ask the question. Again, I'm the proxy for this person. So I'm asking the question, do I have a heart wall? Okay, so often we will get a no anyway. And then the next question we ask Helena is,
Do I have a hidden heart wall?
do I have a hidden heart wall? Okay, so I'm getting a yes on that. All right, so we can go from there. And often when we ask that question, if we're doing a longer session, we can find out what it's made of. Is it made of wood or something softer, metal or whatever? And we can also find out what distance, how, because remember, this is the subconscious. So the imagination of the subconscious is infinite. So some people could have 100-mile heart wall. Some people might have 2 feet. I know for me, after I got divorced, even before I knew anything about emotion code or Reiki or energy healing, I knew that I had put cement blocks around my heart. And I also remember putting a massive chain and then a massive lock. And then I just threw the key away. And I remember, I don't even know why I was thinking about doing it, but it was just sort of like, yeah, nobody's getting in there. And actually, it's interesting because I did get divorced when I was 30, and I did not get remarried until I was 50. So I spent a lot of years single, and I'm very sure that that was a heart wall. Now, if I had known about this, I may have had a relationship sooner, but it was fine. All right, so let's just go ahead and check. So I'm going to ask the question. I know that I have a hidden heart wall. So is the emotion in column A or B? It's in B. Is it even? No, it's odd. It's odd. It's 1, it's 3, it's 5, it's 1. It's 1 and it's 2. So interestingly enough, the first emotion that comes up is actually heartache. So it's right there. It's heartache. And sometimes the emotions make sense and sometimes they don't. So I don't worry about it. I just take it if I've gotten connected and I do a prayer before I do it. And I'll just find out, does this trapped emotion belong to me? Because we can ask the question, is it inherited? Does it belong to me? Elaine, I can see the comments that everybody's saying they're having problems loading. So we're just going to go ahead and keep doing it. Thanks to our viewers for watching.
Good. We're going to post the video afterwards, so they can have the video to go along with the auditory, the audio.
All right.
As you're doing that, as you're continuing to do that, I just want to read something else that Dr. Brad talks about, the heart and the electrical field. And scientists have just made a discovery with a machine called an electrocardiogram. It was developed in 1895, but not so long ago, a new machine was developed called a magnetocardiogram, and it measures the magnetic field of the heart instead of the electrical field. And so, to their astonishment, scientists found that the heart's magnetic field extends up to 12 feet in diameter around the body. 12 feet. So we're actually sending out a magnetic energy 12 feet. So, that's the thing. When you can feel someone else's energy, you're probably picking up on that magnetic field. And the other thing is that they've also discovered that when one person feels love or affection for another person, the heartbeat of the person sending that love or affection becomes measurable in the magnetic brainwaves of the recipient. So Dr. Brad, on some of his live seminars, demonstrates how this actually works. And what he does is he'll have a volunteer come to the front of the room, and he'll start to do some muscle testing, getting some baseline yes and no's. And then he'll have the audience on his signals send love towards this person. And the person then tests very strong and positive. And then he asks the audience for just a brief moment to send negative vibes, negative energy, negative thoughts towards this person. And immediately that person's arm drops down, demonstrating that the person doesn't even have to be aware of what's going on behind them, not even aware of what other people are thinking about them, but they're picking it up. So in our work that we like to do, Dana, we always like to protect our energy. We do a thing called like zip up I put a bubble of white light around me, protecting me, and just letting the negative energies bounce off of me. So energy is very, very powerful. Thoughts are very powerful. And just imagine what we've been absorbing around when we're actually open and in a trauma or a frustration or stress or sickness, or when we're feeling grief or heartache. Heart's very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of the other trapped emotions that I released were, and actually it was interesting because right here on Dr. Brad's chart, he tells us which organs or glands that are affected by these emotions. And if you notice this first one, column A and column B, it says heart or small intestine. And small intestine might seem a bit strange, but Helena just mentioned that we have three brains. So we have the brain in our head, the brain in our heart, and the brain in the gut. And that's also where you get messages from your heart, and that is where your solar plexus, your sacral chakra is. So it just makes sense that that small intestine, where all the feelings are sending emotions as well. So most of them actually came from that top row. So I released insecurity, effort unreceived, vulnerability, and then I went through all of them. Not all of them came up, but then betrayal, feeling forlorn. So sometimes when we're forlorn, we just feel a bit lost, and we've kind of lost our direction, and life just doesn't feel full or rich or joyful or any of that. So that's a sign that there definitely is a heart wall there. And then love unreceived and unsupported. So one that Helene and I have been introducing on our shows is what we call vibrational or psychic resonance. And what that is a resonance that we're kind of born with and kind of plays out through our life. At least that's how I interpret it. Helena, is that the same for you? Yeah, it's an emotion that's kind of a theme in your life. So I'm just going to check and see what comes up for this person right now with the hidden heart wall. All right. So I'm just asking the question, do I have a psychic resonance that has been permeating throughout my whole life? So I'm getting a yes on that. So I'm going to ask the question, is it in column A? No, it's in B. Is it odd? No, it's even. So it's 2, 4, 6. 6. So it's in 6. I'm going to ask the question, is it pride? No. Is it shame? No. Is it shock? No. Is it unworthy? So I'm getting a yes on worthy, and is it worthless? So for this person, they do have this trapped emotion of feeling unworthy. And I believe that when we feel unworthy, we all often can get in a little bit of that feeling sorry for ourselves. And this is typical of everybody, not just this person that we're working on today, but feeling unworthy, not good enough, sometimes feeling like a victim, and maybe sometimes even blaming other people for your circumstances. So what we have to do is, for me, what I like to do is work on the solar plexus, because that's where the confidence is, that's where the courage comes from. And when you get your solar plexus and your heart and your brain working together, because again, law of attraction, your belief system, if you don't believe you're worthy and that you're capable of doing certain things or making changes, then there is some work to be done, and the emotion code can certainly help with that. I did ask this person if she had any physical symptoms that I could start with, but she said she didn't really have anything, but just this feeling of not being very happy. So it's kind of a low, dull, resonating, could often cause depression as well, but that psychic trapped emotion of feeling unworthy. So I've released that. So we're looking forward to seeing some movement going forward there. And I'm just going to unconnect. And Helena, can you see anybody? I guess it's all problem loading page. All right. So I'm just going to really, are there any others that I need to release at the time? I always ask that question, are there any others that I need to release at this time? And I got a no on that. Because remember, there's a lot of processing that goes on. And Helena, how do some of your clients process? What do you tell them? I'm just going to disconnect here.
Yeah, so some of my clients, they have a reaction of feeling lighter, more joyful, more open. Some of them just feel like they need to go take a nap. They just need to sleep because so much energy they're just drained from after the session. And the odd person will actually feel anger or upset, but it lasts for just a short amount of time. I mean, minutes. And once that's out, then there's just a peace and calm. That's actually what a lot of people say after the emotion code session. After they process, there's peace and calm. Yeah.
Thanks, Helena. Another really good thing to do, which I learned on my Reiki, is run your hand under cold water, hands under cold water, and always, always, always hydrate.
Yeah. Yeah. So Dr. Brad says here, just to wrap up, that the the heart walls hamper your ability to give and receive love and feel other positive emotions, and that he firmly believes that the heart wall contributes to feelings of isolation, sadness, and other emotional problems. It is estimated that approximately 93% of people have a heart wall. And so
How
the
many?
question is, 93% of the people have a heart wall. Now, I've only come across one person that does not have a heart wall or a hidden heart wall. And when I asked, she goes, "Oh, she has had a lot of Reiki done where they worked around the energy around the
Yeah,
heart to
yeah.
remove it." So she had it at some point. So the question is do you have a heart wall? And if you do, reach out to us. If you're feeling isolated, lonely, stuck, or whatever it is, reach out. Ask for an emotion code session and set yourself free.
Great. All right. So next week we will be looking for somebody. We're going to release their divorce blues.
Mm.
So if you've doesn't even have to be recent divorce, because people can hang on. It's a grieving time, right? So people can hang on to that for a very, very, very long time. I'm actually working with a client. Yeah, we've had about 6 sessions actually, because there are children involved in custody, and there's just so many emotions and families interfering and all of that stuff going on. So divorce blues, if that's you, if you'd like us to release those for next week. And then we're doing retirement blues, feeling lost, and then we'll be doing grief. And I did post that on our Facebook page as well. So Helena, how can people get a hold of you?
So people can get a hold of me through my website, which is flourishhypnosis/emotion code. I have a Facebook page, Flourish Hypnosis, as well as a YouTube channel.
Excellent, thank you. And you can find me at danasmithers.com/emotion-code. And my YouTube channel, I have a lot of different playlists on it, is Empowered Women in Business. So I've got all the Emotion Code Divas shows, as well as a lot of law of attraction and some interviews with people, and also some information about sacred gifts. So that's it for now. We will post this video, and if you are watching the recorded, if you want to share any of your comments with us, Helena and I will be checking in later for that. So thanks so much.